Good, happy Tuesday morning, January 18, 2022. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Tuesday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, Ocean Boulevard back open after storm causes flooding, erosion at New Hampshire coast. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Everyone has mental health. Is yours keeping you from the life you want? Riverbend is here for you, providing mental health services for all needs and all ages. Specialized treatment delivered with compassion. Visit us at riverbendcmhc.org.
Seacoast certainly saw significant impact from the storm. Route 1A affected in areas from here in Hampton straight up through Rye. Strong onshore winds and a high tide that reached the seawall at Hampton Beach forced water, rocks, and debris into the streets, shutting down Route 1A in town. The wind gusts also caused issues on inland roads.
There are a lot of wires down, there's trees down in the roadways.
The tide also rose around low-lying areas, flooding property and roadways. Snowplows were used to remove debris once the waters receded, but still plenty of damage to deal with.
We're seeing a lot of roadways that are pulled up. The pavement is broken up. There's a lot of houses that have suffered some significant water damage.
A short trip up Ocean Boulevard found another road closure at the Rye-Northampton line. Crews worked all afternoon to repair infrastructure damage caused by the ocean surge.
What we had today was a winter storm, which was predicted that the wind was coming in off the water, and while the high tide came in, it did do some significant erosion to the roadway as well as the seawall, so there was a lot of rocks and water that came across the road.
A small portion of Harbor Road in Rye was also damaged. A section of narrow residential roadway collapsed, keeping crews busy. And this is the paved parking lot at Genesee Beach, covered with a few inches of sand and plenty of seaweed, an example of what was left behind by the storm. And sand still covers the sidewalk here at Hampton Beach and much of Ocean Boulevard, so the cleanup, no doubt, will continue for days. Live at Hampton, Jason King, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Road conditions improve after storm brings heavy snow, wet snow, and icy mix to New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Are you looking for a rewarding career with purpose? Join our dynamic team that's dedicated to making a difference. Bring your talent to Riverbend Community Mental Health. Specialized behavioral health by providers who truly care.
We were at Waterville Valley skiing this morning. We braved the trip up there this morning. It was a fun white knuckle ride.
Was it?
Yeah. It was, snowing pretty hard.
Ski resorts rejoicing over the jackpot of fresh snow, but wind complicated a perfect day for holiday revelers. Loon, Bretton Woods, and Cannon closed early. So did Waterville Valley, according to their official Twitter accounts. How were conditions on the mountain, though?
They were fantastic until the power went out. And then the mountain got shut down.
News 9 set out to find the rain-snow line Monday morning. New Hampton marked the conversion to sleet and snow.
Heavy stuff really didn't start coming down until about 7. Between 7 and 10, it was quite nasty out here in New Hampton and Meredith. It's hard to keep up, and we're just doing the best we can.
This storm asked a lot of tires and windshield wipers. 93 shifted from wet pavement to problematic ponding in some spots. And when trucks passed us, visibility was lost under a wave of water.
We were able to go 70 miles an hour until we saw the temperature start dropping. Dropped about 10 degrees within about 15 minutes. And then once we hit to 32, everything just started slowing down and it became pretty dangerous.
John is headed to the Woodstock Inn for a quick getaway. And then
Next week I go to Florida, so forget about this stuff. I'm done with it.
So if you're lucky to have tomorrow off or are able to finagle tomorrow off, conditions on the slopes should be prime. In fact, boss, I think I've got a bit of a cold coming on. We're live along 93. Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire law enforcement leaders discuss reform efforts as state honors Martin Luther King Jr. Efforts still underway to make the state police force more transparent and acceptable. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Are you looking for a rewarding career with purpose? Join our dynamic team that's dedicated to making a difference. Bring your talent to Riverbend Community Mental Health. Specialized behavioral health by providers who truly care.
Stratford County Sheriff Mark Brave made New Hampshire history when he took office a year ago. He says it wouldn't have been possible without Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the civil rights movement.
This would never happen if Dr. King didn't do some of the things he did. Progress is hard, it's new, but obviously from Dr. King's days, it works. I mean, we wouldn't be where we are today as African Americans, as minorities just in this country, without people like him.
Sheriff Brave says he's prioritized community outreach and issues like mental health in his first year. But when it comes to the bigger picture of law enforcement reform and racial justice, he knows it's a gradual process.
Nationally, obviously, it's not happening fast enough because you turn the TV on any day and you see these things continue. The narrative continues, right? So all we can do is worry about what we can do here in New Hampshire, and hopefully the national level reaches out to us here, and then we can tell them what we're doing right here in New Hampshire.
At the State House in Concord, legislation is coming forward to create a revamped statewide police oversight body to handle complaints of misconduct with more transparency. While lawmakers still have to hammer out the details, Assistant Commissioner of Safety Eddie Edwards says the end result should be greater public accountability.
And working with the legislature, I'm very confident that that's going to happen.
For Edwards, who is playing a key role in reform efforts at the state level, the legacy of Dr. King hits close to home.
Growing up in Georgia, his church was right there in the city of Atlanta. And so when I reflect on Dr. Martin Luther King's work, one of the things I think about is one of his famous quotes is, "It's always right, the time is always right to do the right thing."
In Concord, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Maxwell ends fight to keep John Doe's secret. Court to decide whether names should be unsealed. Miss Maxwell will no longer fight to keep the names of 8 John Doe's secret and will leave it to the court to decide whether the names should be unsealed, according to a letter dated January 12th. The documents are part of a 2015 defamation lawsuit against Maxwell, brought by Virginia Roberts, who claimed Jeffrey Epstein sexually abused her while she was a minor and that Maxwell abided in the abuse. Senator Shaheen among bipartisan delegations in Ukraine. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Walmart, America's largest, is hiring. Earn up to $28 per hour plus benefits working at Walmart's distribution center. Get a $5,000 sign-on bonus, but hurry, you must be hired before January 31st. Apply today online or text DC to 240-240. Watkins, welcome.
Let the people of Ukraine know that the Congress of the United States stands with them.
Senator Jean Shaheen, one of 7 congressional leaders in Ukraine, wanting citizens there to determine their futures.
We also want to make it clear to Vladimir Putin that this is the position that we in Congress have, that we are watching very closely what Russia and Putin are doing.
The bipartisan delegation met with President Volodymyr Zelensky Monday. Friday, the White House said U.S. intelligence officials found Russia deployed operatives to eastern Ukraine. The Russian foreign minister calls this total disinformation. He says Russia is waiting for a guarantee NATO won't embrace Ukraine. Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut says President Putin is worried about the territorial integrity of Russia.
He believes that Ukraine or NATO or the United States presents some threat to his own territory. That's just not true. That's invented.
Murphy says the U.S. increased presence in reaction to Russia's invasion. Shaheen says potential conflict could even affect us here at home.
We can't allow the kind of threat that he's presenting against Ukraine and then against Europe. I mean, the question is, where does he stop? If he can come into Ukraine, what threat is he to the United States? What threat is he to American interests in Europe and anywhere around the world?
And Russian troops were reported less than 200 miles from where Senator Shaheen was standing for that interview. Live in the studio, Grace Feinerman, WMUR News 9.
On this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, members of Dr. King's family are calling on lawmakers to pass a new legislation on voting. People from more than 100 national and grassroots organizations joined the King family in a march in Washington, D.C. The legislation would give the federal government more oversight in setting voting regulations.
Today, my message to you is simple. Do not celebrate, legislate.
Don't tell us what you believe in. Show us with your votes.
Republicans say they oppose the legislation because it would allow the federal government rollback regulation. They say keep elections secure. Meanwhile, two Senate Democrats are oppose changing filibuster rules to get it passed.
And after 1 year in office, the first person of color elected to the office of sheriff in New Hampshire history says reform efforts are ongoing. Stratford County Sheriff Mark Brave says his department is doing the work he described in his 2020 campaign, branching out to help address issues that affect both the community.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. And that is a look at your news this morning. Now we're going to switch gears and let's go into weather. Weather right now is partly cloudy, 24 degrees, feels like 9 degrees. Brr, cold out there. Expect dry conditions for the next 6 hours. And special weather statement, slippery roads may develop overnight. So this morning you could see a little bit of black ice and refreeze that happened overnight. So be safe on those roads this morning. But with a full weather forecast, let's go to meteorologist Kevin Scarippa with a full weather forecast right now.
Everyone has mental health. Is yours keeping you from the life you want? Riverbend is here for you, providing mental health services for all needs and all ages. Specialized treatment delivered with compassion. Visit us at riverbendcmhc.org.
A brisk northwesterly wind today is going to make the temperatures, which will be hovering around in the teens up north today and 20s in southern New Hampshire, feel a lot colder than that. We are looking at a little bit of light snow as we work our way through Tuesday night and into Wednesday with a system eventually approaching. And up and down temperatures continue through a good balance of this week. You'll notice a couple of snow showers out there first thing this morning. Otherwise, clouds gradually giving way to some sunshine in central and southern areas. Clouds will try to linger up north into the afternoon on that brisk wind out of the northwest. So temperatures this afternoon kind of hovering around in the teens and 20s. Wind chills will likely be sub-zero up in the north country as we go through the afternoon, and single digits to lower teens elsewhere, with that wind gusting at times over 25 to 30 miles an hour. As that wind lightens in clear skies early this evening, we'll drop below zero up north, while we'll be in the single digits to lower teens in southern New Hampshire. Some clouds start to fill in overnight, and that will likely send temperatures up by early tomorrow morning. But it will be with a chance of a little bit of light snow for the north country overnight tonight and tomorrow. Maybe an inch or two of accumulation north of the notches. Elsewhere, temperatures up into the 30s with a southwesterly breeze on your Wednesday afternoon. Front makes its way through, and colder air is going to start filtering in behind this. As a matter of fact, temperatures will likely fall from our early morning highs on Thursday, and highs likely only in the single digits and teens with sunshine on Friday. That will also be with a breeze out of the north. There is a system we'll be watching over the weekend, but most of the maps have have this passing well to our south. Could mean a couple of snow showers later in the day Saturday or Saturday night, with yet another front eventually coming through. Otherwise, the accent certainly on the colder than average temperatures here going forward, with one bump in readings for the afternoon tomorrow. Early clouds, couple of snow showers giving way to some sunshine in central and southern areas. Wind chills certainly a factor through the day, with temperatures only in the teens and 20s this afternoon. There's a look at your overnight lows tonight. Single digits above and below zero for most, with a much lighter wind. Clouds will start to increase by morning. Some light snow in the North Country tomorrow. Temperatures in the 30s in southern New Hampshire. Another dip in temperature for late week. It will be with falling temperatures Thursday and a cold day with a breeze on Friday. A couple of snow showers possible late Saturday.
Okay, and there you go on that weather forecast from meteorologist Kevin Scrippo. Thank you for that weather forecast, Kevin. And thank you for tuning in and watching this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great day, everyone. Goodbye.